And he tries to get it to him, and he decides that the rookie receiver does not want the football because he didn't break hard or fight hard for the football. He let Roby run his route.
Well, it looks like Roby, you have to realize, Bradley Roby was the third corner on the championship team for the Denver Broncos.
Second-round pick, Ohio State.
No, he's a first-round pick.
First-round pick. I thought he was early second.
No, he's a first-round pick.
All right.
And the thing was, Skip, he jumps inside. He's like, I'm not letting you inside.
Nope.
So he knows. And that's why you don't, Skip, and I understand that N'Keal Harry's a first-round draft pick, but you have to be cautious when you're dealing with a veteran corner because they know all the tricks of the trade. He's saying, I'm not letting you inside.
No.
And formation says, you know what? When he's at this distance, at the top of the numbers, he normally runs that under route. So under, I'm jumping inside. If he throws it, you're going to hit me in the chest, Tom.
Okay, and yet Brady is thinking to himself, that guy is 6'4", 220, and he could just shield off. If he came hard for the football the way he's supposed to, the way we practice it, that's what would have happened, and at least we would have had a knockdown as opposed to an interception.
Oh, Julian Edelman would have just tackled him.
He would have just tackled him. So guess what? That was the one throw to N'Keal Harry last night. And by the way, that was only his third game he's been playing with Tom Brady.
Yeah.
That was the one throw to N'Keal Harry, and after that, he got no more targets because he got very little more playing time after that play.
Skip, the thing is, with a veteran quarterback like Tom Brady, it's easy for him to lose confidence in a rookie receiver because Edelman, if a ball gets intercepted on Edelman, Tom Brady's like, I'm going back to him. But the makeup is different. And so he's going to build back up that trust. It's just going to take some time for them to get that chemistry.
Now, let's go to the frustration peak of the night for Tom Brady. It was 3rd and 6 at the New England 45 early in the second quarter. And he has another undrafted free agent named Jacoby Myers running a sort of a broken route in which he was coming back toward him, and Tom wanted him to go because he waves to him, just go, because nobody's home back there. Just break it. You got him. You got him.
The scramble rules, general rules, Skip. If you're the closest receiver to the quarterback, you turn and go. Everybody else work their way back towards it.
So that sent Tom to the sideline, and he is lecturing receivers about you've got to be quicker, you've got to be faster, you've got to be more explosive. I need separation. If I can read lips, that looks like what he was saying on the bench to anybody who would listen.
You got to be faster.
Philip Dorsett was kind of within earshot. Edelman was kind of underneath him, but I don't think he was talking to Edelman. I think he was trying to talk to everybody down the bench, and I think that's, to use the old cliche, is trying to get blood from a turnip because they're just not quicker and faster and explosive. They just don't have it. So now let's go to what I thought was the turning point of the game. Houston was up only 14-3 at this point. It's 7:14 left in the third quarter, and it becomes 4th and 1 at the Houston 42. And shockingly, but I thought pleasantly shockingly, they did not run the ball. They went play fake to Mohamed Sanu. So what happens on this play?
He got banged.
He got banged in the middle of the field by my man Zach Cunningham from Vanderbilt University, but he got away with one because the ball was in the air when he got banged in the middle by the middle linebacker. Okay, so again, that should have been called, or Belichick should have challenged that because I believe he would have won that challenge. But let's forget about that. Sanu does have about a half step on Jonathan Joseph, and the ball hits Sanu right here, and he drops it.
Well, he's trying to secure it and give
I'll give him some credit.
Because, Skip, he didn't give up on the play.
Okay, but you have to catch that in what could be, you know, if you could turn it into a 14-10 game.
It's a nip-tuck game.
Okay, all right. And yet, what am I seeing so far from Mohamed Sanu? Not enough. I see no burst. I see no separation.
All the thing is, he's a smaller Josh Gordon.
Okay.
If you got rid of Josh Gordon, who knew the offense, why would you bring Mohamed Sanu? Maybe, because he can field punts, he has sure hands or something of that nature.
So I want to make it very clear. I signed off on this move the day that Belichick made it because he gave a second-round pick to Atlanta for Mohamed Sanu. And I thought, well, he's a Rutgers guy, and they love, Bill loves Rutgers guys. And he's a possession receiver who's got experience and smart. So he'll vibe with Tom right away. He can't run. He's got no burst.
Skip, I told you, I said, Skip, I thought Emmanuel Sanders would be a better option for them. Now, he's 2 years older, but...
You were correct, because I would love to see Tom now with one wideout who could actually separate. Because Emmanuel can separate. And he will fight for the football.
Absolutely.
And the 49ers got him for a 3rd and a 4th from Denver. So 3rd, 4th versus a 2 is about the same.
All right. But, Skip, I believe Emmanuel Sanders is better for them because you have another guy that can beat man-to-man coverage. I'm not so sure, other than Edelman, any of these guys can consistently beat man-to-man coverage. And if I'm a team, Skip, look, Julian Edelman's not going to beat me. Tom, you're going to beat me throwing to N'Keal Harry, Philip Dorsett, and Jacoby Myers. If that's how you're going to beat me, I'm not giving you Edelman. I'm just not, because you see, Skip, when he has to pat the ball, when Edelman is bracketed, he has to pat the ball. He's like, where am I going to go now? And that's what I would do. I would force him to go to those other guys, because I'm not giving you Edelman, because we know what he represents. He's going to fight. This joke is tough. This joke is tough as wet leather. I love his game. I love the way he plays. And every time he catches the ball, he's getting up talking. You can't guard me.
No,
you can't guard me.
That is true. So I credit Romeo for saying, you know what? I'm going to play 6 DBs much of the night. I'm going to have 2 on James White if I need them and 2 on Edelman if I need them.
Right.
And the rest of you guys, good luck to you, because you can't separate.
Right.
So it brings me to what Chris Collinsworth, and I know you don't listen to the audio, but Chris Collinsworth late in the third quarter had something very interesting to say about Tom Brady's plight and night. If we could please hear that.
Tom Brady can go through his progression as fast as anybody. He looked at 4 guys, and 4 guys were covered that time. He gave it the full shot, and the protection is there. He is holding the ball longer than I think he has this entire season, and yet they're not getting the separation.
So last night, his protection was better than usual. It hasn't been very good all year, but he got his left tackle back finally, Isaiah Wynn, 2 games ago, and it showed last night because Tom often had enough time to find somebody, but he's padding and he's padding and he's speed reading and speed reading. And if the protection then breaks down, he's got no chance because he has no athletic ability. He's going nowhere slowly. So he did escape one time for 17 yards just because nobody was home over on the right side of the field. But the point was, nobody could separate. And he was getting more and more frustrated until finally, at the end, I thought Romeo did back off some, but you got to see some vintage Brady because he just said, okay, James White, you're in the game. I'm going to run it with you, and I'm going to throw it to you. And James White dominated. He played 44 snaps in the second half, and Sony Michel went to the doghouse. N'Keal Harry went to the doghouse. And all of a sudden, it was Edelman or James White or bust. And you got to see a little flashback to how they came from 28-3 down in the Super Bowl on that same turf against Atlanta. Because he got cooking in the fourth quarter. By hook or crook, he was cooking. And they got within that onside kick at the end of the game. And I thought maybe he decided, okay, this is what I'm going to have to ride with the rest of the year. So you tell me, can coordinators come in? Do they listen? Houston's secondary is loaded with first-rounders and second-rounders. All over the map, you're just, oh, he's a first-rounder, he's a second-rounder, he's first, he's second. Well, they're so good that if you put all of them on the field at once and you take away a lot of slow receivers from Tom Brady, I don't know how he could do much better than
they got the Hargraves kid that Tampa released.
That's what I'm saying.
And, you know, Jonathan Joseph was a former first-round pick. I think he was a first-round pick of the Bengals. And Roby was a first-round pick. So I just think the thing, Skip, is that once they got, there's like nothing cheap, nothing deep. If you want to nickel and dime us and go down the field and eat up 6 minutes of the clock, so be it. But that's what makes it so hard for them. You see, it takes them 13. It takes them 14, 15 plays. And at some point...
no weapon. There's no real deep threat weapon.
No.
And it got so bad and so sad later in the game. Guess who was tweeting from his couch? Antonio Brown was saying, still I rise. And then he said, retweet, put AB in this game. Well, it's so delusional. Are you just going to snap your fingers and, like, put him back in the game? Well, that'd be great. Tom Brady would love that.
They would. But let me ask you a question. You think the NFL is having a conversation about Antonio Brown?
No. Feels like old news.
No. Well, what's he doing? Well, what are you doing?
Thank you.
And I'm sure Tom Brady will retweet this. I don't know if he did when he got
He'll
home.
retweet it. He'll like it.
He might. But he'll do it all. And it matters none.
Until that Super Bowl is played in Miami, which is the 100th anniversary of the NFL,
it is not
AB is out of sight, out of mind.
Okay? So my final takeaway from last night is I still wonder, because it still bubbles under the surface, the Brady-Belichick rivalry and conflict. I just wonder if on the team plane going home, if Tom Brady sat back and wondered if his coach is once again trying to sabotage his chances of succeeding this year. Mohamed Sanu, really? That's all you got for me?
all I
And
got.
what else? Matt Lacoste? That's all you got for
Well,
me?
Coach Belichick says I'm not mortgaging the ranch to get a guy that I'm not going to have here next year that's 42 years of age. I'm not giving up all that.
Okay, but a 2 is pretty much to give up for.
Yeah. It was, like I said, I thought Emmanuel Sanders would be a better option for them because he can play the slot and he can also play outside the numbers.
Yeah. Well, I
But
don't know.
Skip, all that was standing. Coach Belichick might be sabotaging. You can't look at 12 and say that's the guy that you know and love for the past 18 years.
In the fourth quarter, maybe even the last quarter and a half of that game, I saw the old Tom Brady.
They backed off.
Yeah.
They backed off.
Okay.
They backed off. Say, oh, go ahead, have all that. But when they were coming, hold on. When the score was 14-3,
Yeah.
14-9, he had an opportunity to do all that. Yet he did none of that. Skip.
Well, he had an opportunity against Atlanta in the Super Bowl.
Oh,
and he
wait, talk about
didn't.
Atlanta. What he did there. See what you keep going back to? I'm not trying to take that away
Okay,
from him.
but his history is that's what he does.
Well, his history.
Guess what? He was
What
down.
is his
Wait a
history
second.
this
He
year?
was 24-14 down to the Legion of Boom going to the fourth quarter. And what happened?
Yeah. See,
Woo!
that's what is his history
Guess
this
what?
year?
In the AFC Championship game against Jacksonville 2 years ago, I'm telling you what he's made of.
No,
What's his DNA?
What is his DNA this year?
DNA
What
is
it
he
this
just
year?
did it again.
Skip,
He
Skip.
just came back.
Look, there have been great guys before that could summon, and that's the thing, Skip. He can't summons this on a regular basis like he once could. That's all I'm saying. He's still great, but his greatness comes in spurts now.
Yeah.
It doesn't show throughout the entirety of the game like it once did. And that's what I'm telling you about great players.
Well,
Okay, so after I watched Kansas City demolish Oakland, did I think,
KC.
boy, it's going to be tough for New England to beat Kansas City even at home? Yep, it'll be
it will
tough.
be hard.
Would I bet against them? I don't know about that.
The Patriots hopeful, Skip. The Patriots, like, the reason why they love the home field because they are great in all conditions. We know it's probably going to be really, really cold. It might be raining, sleeting, it might be snowing. So but when you get them in a